Okay, hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Asterix and the Soothsayer with myself and Hissy today. We're back after Hissy wasn't feeling too good last week, so needed a break. So we're back this week with Asterix and the Soothsayer. So you're much better this week than Hissy.
Yeah, much better. I'm all one colour this week and intend to stay that way.
Yeah, although just for sake of honesty here, Hissy has kind of pulled an all-nighter in his
Yeah.
I think we're both trying to get caffeine into our system right now.
I mean,
So,
I'm well prepared. I'm surrounded by cold drinks, some alcoholic, some not, hot drinks, cigarettes, makeup's plastered on, and I have fruit. So if you see me snacking, that's what I'm doing. I'm snacking on fruit to hydrate.
yeah.
I also have my, for those Harry Potter fans in there like me, I also have my Polyjuice potion. Today it has the hair of a functional human being in it.
Mm,
So here's hoping that works.
there we go. There we go. Yeah. So yeah. Right. Just also let you know the chat's running a little slow in my StreamYards and that at the moment. So if we find but we are a little slow responding to anything in the chat, that's why, guys. All right. So we'll see. We got Megan Nuts is in the chat. Ring. Dave's in the chat. So. Right, Asterix and the Soothsayer. What do you think of this one?
I like this one. This one is very clever. It's giving a very sophisticated message in a very simple way.
Mm.
I think it's a great learning tool, not necessarily about history or anything, but just life skills.
Yes, and I think especially the sort of the community we're in around sort of around I know you're not an atheist, but obviously atheist, skeptic, and debunker kind of community. This one kind of hits home a little as well about woo peddlers and bit woo peddlers and certain preachers and so on that we can think of. So this kind of this this does hit home a bit with this. There's some good things about critical thinking and so on that you could take from this.
Mm-hmm.
So hi Hops Watch. Hops is here as well.
Hi, Hop.
Okay, so right, I'm going to go to my Kindle thing now then, and let's find it so we can get the can get it up on screen. Okay, so let's go right into this now. You know, normally how we start these things, it's all peaceful and that in the village. It seems to be there's a very violent thunderstorm at the moment. And it's just the one thing the ghouls are afraid of is the sky falling on their heads, which is their big sort of superstitious fear. And it seems kind of imminent with this storm going on.
I mean, the only thing missing from that image is Courage the Cowardly Dog running by.
Yeah. And then, so they're all gathered in the chief's hut to take shelter. And Asterix mentions that Gedifix is away at the annual Druids conference in the Forest of the Carnutes. So if we remember that, we remember the last one from earlier in this series of books, when he was out in the Druids conference. But Asterix trying to, Asterix is trying to reassure them, look, there's nothing to be afraid of here. Look, this is a bad stream, but Cacophonic.
We'll get through it. We'll be fine.
Cacophonic suggests a little song to boost morale.
Even the weather didn't like that idea.
Yeah, I think the Turan, the god of thunder, doesn't think much of that suggestion. And fully automatics, that's one god with his head screwed on right. So, with the druid might be, so they say, look, the druid might be away, but look, God of the tribe is protecting us. That's so. Asterix is trying to reassure people here. Look, they're all getting really worried about this, and
I mean, to be fair to them, violent storms, I know how they're caused. I know the science behind them. I still jump when the lightning goes off and I hear the boom.
Yeah.
So, to be fair, it's
I
It's
know.
a reasonable
I know.
fear for people in that era.
I know people that are. I know people that are afraid of thunderstorms now. You know. So, um, I mean, me personally, I love them. I love them normally because it's been really, really hot and muggy before they come in, and they clear the air. So, I,
Mm.
it sort of says here. It says, as you can see, the Gauls are certainly not short of gods. More than 400 rub shoulders in their pantheon. There are gods for everything: trees, roads, rivers. In fact, there are so many worship. For sometimes address them by codes, numbers to facilitate of their prayers. For instance, intelligence. Yeah, a goddess whose services were often held in secret must be found under MI5.
That's a great joke. Worth
Yeah,
it.
that's a British. That's a British joke. Oh, hi, Granny. Granny's in the chat as well.
Hey, Granny.
Yeah, I don't think that really needs to explain, but MI5 is the sort of British internal security service.
Yeah, it's the domestic secret service, isn't
yeah,
it?
and you
Yeah,
got
and my
the
phone
that's right, and you got
6 is international.
yeah, you got the SIS, which is more commonly called MI6, although that's not his actual name. But anyway, it's a bit of useless information.
Yeah.
Um,
Not to be confused with the SAS, which is something totally different.
That's an army thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Cacophonic says, I could sing something jolly. Broom. No.
Nope.
And then suddenly you see the door glass open and you've got this mysterious figure all in black there with lots of animal furs on his head. Looks
And
quite terrifying, isn't he? The look of him.
Yeah, a bit dangerous there. He's got a tail. Is it a werewolf?
Yeah. It might make me jump, to be honest. Asterix as well. Oh, Chief, aren't you going to invite the visitor in? And there, you know, I love the fact he hands off. He's got his wife in his hand. He hands him off to geriatrics, who's too old to
run away.
He asks who he is. He says, "A traveller caught in the storm. Grant me shelter of your roof until the gods have been appeased." And it says, "It looks as though the gods have had a brainstorm under the influence of the goddess mania." But so they invite him in. You know, just so we got some boar and some goat's milk left open, but
I think I know where they got the imagery for Gandalf.
No, I can tell you where they got. I can tell you where they.
Yeah, that was a joke, but you know what I mean.
Although it is actually very similar to the sort of Grey Wanderer, which is Odin.
Fair.
So,
yeah.
Which is kind of what Gandalf the Grey is based on. And Santa Claus, by the way, as well. Although that's a long one to explain. But they're all. So this traveller introduces himself. His name's Prolix. And he wanders around the country, stopping where he can and where he'll be well received. And I knew that this storm was going to break, so I hurried to your home when I knew where there would be hospitality. Even if people do have a strange way of sharing their milk and boar, but you know, but I knew that too. How do you know all that? It says, I'm a soothsayer. And they're all like, everyone's like a soothsayer except for Asterix, who's like, ho ho. You know? Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Well, the other one, mate, it's got bells on.
Yeah. And he said, someone in this room is skeptical, and Terrence doesn't like that. You know, and of course, Fully Automatics uses this as an excuse to pick on Cacophonics. Of course not. It must be this idiot who's going to see. He does all of the annoying of the gods. But he said, so Vital Statistics says, but please forgive my men, Soothsayer, that they spend all the time quarrelling. So now we get. I've got to excuse a little bit of this page. Let me just see if I can get rid of a certain part of that. Sorry. Asterix skepticism has no effect subjected by the influence of many gods. So both who travel and protect them, the nations of antiquity, would like to have an advance notice of their whims. So we must insert a parenthesis. And this is a parenthesis which is necessary for the explanation of soothsayers, oracles, prophets, augurs, hospices,
and other interpreters of the Sibylline books. The
Yeah.
Sibylline books is a real thing-ish. A book of prophecy that the Romans were still relying on in the early 1st century, so far as I know.
Nice one, by the way. Nice one, Ring.
So it's kind of, I think the Sibylline books, the best way to explain it is it's the nice and accurate prophecies of Agnes Mutter, part 1. The bit written in Latin.
Yeah.
Is, although technically Greek, because they are Greek texts.
Yep.
So
okay. So we're going to look at some of these soothsayers here. Will the gods look kindly on the harvest? Soothsayers read the future when the birds. Yes, farmer. You know, the gods will send rain for your fields, and you know, on the appetite of the sacred geese. You know, the gods who the gods liver will be good. Pate will be good. The gods have spoken. You can set sail with the gods, and this is the pirate captain. I'm not going to show the next panel for reasons
obvious
we know
reasons.
Pirates, but you can guess what happens to them. And then you have Caesar consulting one of these goes, as long as Brutus is near to you, O Caesar, you have nothing to fear.
Well, I mean, technically that's not wrong, because if Brutus had have been emotionally near to him and loyal to him, so technically it's not wrong.
But the point
it's
being,
not right either, but it's not wrong.
Point being, let me get rid of that bit at the bottom, and then we get right down to the bottom here. Certain visionaries have a reasonable idea of what the future holds, and they certainly say any old thing looking at them. In short, it says here, in short, they are charlatans who thrive on credulity, fear, and human superstition. Here we close the parenthesis. So, yeah, I feel
like Uderzo's not all that keen on divination.
Well, Gassini, whoever.
Gassini, I do feel like there's a very I don't know, maybe I'm a bit of a soothsayer and I'm getting insight into them. It's not obvious at all, is it?
No.
Sorry, can you hear the sarcasm dripping?
Yeah.
The sarcasm dripped.
But yeah, so you sort of see what this is already saying here. These people are charlatans, and I mean, you're saying this is saying a lot about a lot of these, like a lot about fortune tellers, evangelical priests, whatever they may be, psychics, you know,
cold readers.
Yeah. So a little bit, so you can sort of already see the kind of message they're trying to send with this book. I don't normally do this, but I'm actually going to light up in here today.
If you can, you can.
Not really supposed to, but the window wide open. But anyway, the soothsayer is it's the sky about to fall on our heads, you know. And he said, I should need the entrails of an animal to read. So you could try a roast boar, and as it's pointing out, Obelix, you ate all the boar. And he said, and he notices that dog will do nicely. And Obelix is first person to touch Dogmatics gets a biff up the hoots. Basically, try it.
I've decided I don't like this soothsayer. He decided to cut out Dogmatics up.
Yeah. So yeah, not a good idea. And Asterix warns him, watch it, Obelix's predictions often work out. Too bad, I shan't be able to read you your future, blah, blah, blah. And Unhygienic says, "Oh, I sell fish. What about one of them?" Yes, that will do. Yeah, we soothsayers often go to the fishmonger to get something to read. Which was what's the little thing down here? A tradition that survives to this day. Modern fishmongers wrap up their goods in newspaper so that their customers can have something to read later. Which is
well, you know, there are
you
only certain newspapers that you can actually wrap fish and chips in.
yeah.
For example, I wouldn't wrap it in a tabloid because
A
ink
red top,
everywhere.
no, yeah, certainly a red top. No, certainly a red top. Yeah, but I've been years since I've had fish and chips in blooming newspaper. Actually, it's been like
yeah, I don't think they do it in newspaper anymore. I know if you go to certain chains, they've got like boxes with newspaper print on the box.
Yeah, I think it's the sort of similar type of paper to what they've got, but it's not actually old newspaper anymore.
Yeah, it reminds me of, you know, the flip chart paper that they used to use in schools.
Yeah,
it reminds me of that they use for it. Slightly grease-proof, but thick.
But so anyway, he's got this. So he's got this Microraptor asks, "Can you wrap it in pages of the Bible?"
I don't know. I mean,
well, if that maybe
poisonous snake.
no. Technically speaking, if you wrap it in pages of the Bible, one portion of fish and chips should be able to feed 5,000. So it might work.
Try it. Let me know.
Yeah, we'll try that. We'll try it sometime in the interest of science. But
and feed 5,000 what?
Yeah, true. Ants.
What probably is very important? Ants.
Yeah, perhaps it's but so, and he said, like, he doesn't take the hint. This guy here actually does. He says, he said this fish is maybe a little stale. I'm certain if I read that dog, we could get confirmation. And that talk about not taking a hint. I mean, why you'd want to provoke Obelix by why you'd want to cut up Dogmatics in the first place? You've got to be sick. But why you'd want to provoke Obelix, I don't know. So
I mean, he's not exactly a small block.
Blessed are the chippies, yeah. Thanks, Microraptor.
Blessed are the chippies, they will inherit the earth on which to grow potatoes.
And so fully automatics again passes a remarkable unhygienic fish, gets hit in the face, and here we all go. Punch up time. Now, just and look at this. Now the storm has cleared. Just as I predicted, the storm is over. The weather has improved. Now I'm leaving you as others need my skill. Thank you for the delightful welcome. Asterix, good riddance. I hope you'll stop acting like idiots now to the rest of them. But, you know, look, and there's impedimenta, but Asterix, he said that when the storm was over, the weather improved. And Asterix, he must be clever. I love that. I love that. It's like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you know? So obviously we're dealing with the Ghoul's a bit superstitious here. No two ways about that. Well, what's Hopswatch saying? The integrity of the plot calls for so to want Dogmatics to cut up so Obelix wouldn't like the Soothsayer. That's true.
Yeah, but I mean, not necessarily, because we have had comics in the past where Asterix and Obelix had different ideas.
Yeah. I think it was, Anyway, what about the fight? He foretold us having a fight, and he's like, you soon realise that fights are too assistirtious here. Anyway, you know, especially when there's especially when your fish are bound to be bought up. He said that's not true. He says, yeah, it wouldn't happen if they were fresh. Smack. And he's going away gloating here. If only I could have foreseen that they were so simple-minded. Well, it's a fine thing. I was just lucky lucky, and I was cruising myself by, and and get caught. So everybody gets kicked out here, and Impedimenta goes chasing after the Soothsayer. And he's saying, I must play this very carefully in the village. So they literally kicked me out. I must admit that, that lot weren't stupid. So, so he's been. Oh. Sorted. Oh, okay. I'll keep it going for a minute. I guess he's got something to sort out. So, Impedimenta asks them not to leave. Look, we want your counsel about the future. And he's like, no, there are skeptics in your village. That little man with the yellow moustache and that fat monster who wouldn't let anyone read his dog. Oh, So she said, oh, don't worry about them. They're just barbarians. Don't take any notice of them. I foresee difficulties with your barbarians if I go back to that village. Can't you get those two thrown out? We said we couldn't do that. So, yeah, Ring, terrible skeptics. So, don't need them in this community at all. So, of course, he sets up. What he does is he sets up. He says he'll set up camp in this clearing, and for the time being, and oh yes, I'll make sure they won't bother you. I'll bring you things to eat. He's like, oh no, it's us. We Soothsayers, we lead a life of meditation. Just bring me something to read: boars, ducks, chickens, cakes, beer. Can you read beer too? If it's very well kept and if it's very legible, yes. Hops, you're in the chat still. Can you read beer? I know you can review beer, but can you read the future through beer? I actually can. I can predict that if I drink enough of it, I'll get completely wasted. It seems to happen quite regularly. So he said, the flight of the swallows tells me that you will not spend all your life in that wretched village. But my husband's the chief. He'll be called to higher things. I shall need, I shall need some cushioning as well. Well, my rich brother homeopathics will take him on as a business partner in Leticia. I was just going to say so. Now, just leave me to meditate. What a grifter. Absolute grifter. First of all, Hops, read. Can you read beer? Read the future for any of these beers that you review. And Microraptor, yeah, actually, to be honest, it is rather predictable how a flat Earth debate will go. I do tend to normally end up with dumpster fires where the Flurfs don't actually. They certainly don't bring any evidence to the table. Yeah. So Asterix and Obelix come wandering into the forest to do a spot of hunting. And even jokingly says, oh, I'm going to get some wild boars for a bit of reading. Oh, no, so you're not going to go to the forest for that. Oh, wild boars are, we're hunting. Oh, no, come along, guys. You're invited to a dinner at my house. So she insists on them coming back. Oh, and speaking of coming back.
Coming back right on time.
Hissy, right on cue. So we're at the bit now where he set up camp in the village, and she's just taken Asterix and Obelix back to Vital Statistics house for a meal because she doesn't want them finding the Soothsayer. So that's where we're at now, Hissy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just pointing out how he says, "Oh, I live a simple life of meditation. I just need some boar, some ducks, some chickens, and some beer to read." You know.
I can read beer.
Yeah. I was asking Hops whether he could because he reviews beer.
Well, I reckon I can read the future from beer because I know once you've finished it, you'll want another.
There you go. Look, Hops is a soothsayer.
There we go. Violent foam over the rim usually means a sour taste, yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, to be fair, like I said, I predict if I drink about 6 or 7 of them, I'm going to be pretty tipsy. It does happen fairly regularly, though. I love this that she comes in and calls him her little pet name here, Piggy Wiggy, which apparently he kind of likes, but not in front of Asterix and Obelix, who find that hilarious. Oh, please forgive us, Piggy Wiggy. I mean, Chief. And bringing them back for a meal. Oh, we know there are 2 best warriors, and that we got to treat the Asterix and Obelix. So, and since the Druids away, we must look after them. The Romans could attack at any time. Piggy Wiggy, and they just can't. You can see Obelix just bursts out laughing at this. So, do you like going into the forest? Then do you? You can stand guard to the village. That's an order.
The chat is still talking about reading beer, and I will go one step further. I will say I can read all alcohol because I know if I drink enough of it, I'll have a hangover.
Technically, you haven't yet because you haven't gone to sleep.
I haven't slept yet, so I don't have a hangover yet, but I will eventually.
Tomorrow ain't going to be a good day for you. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Tomorrow,
we will see.
Yeah. So, moving on. There they are. And how silly of me! It's the goose is stuffed and hasn't got any entrails. Oh, it doesn't matter. I get tired of reading tripe. So, and the word's getting round that the soothsayer is about, and they're just going. So they're all going out there to take him. All the women start, and then the men will start taking him out stuff to eat, and so.
Stuff to read the entrails of.
Yeah.
Of course, there's kind of a little bit of truth in this because the Roman oracles and things, priests, did read entrails to try and divine the future.
Yes.
It was a supposedly valid thing.
Hi, Jen, Linda. Oh, Nerdy's here as well.
Full house today. Yeah. Are you all here to see the shenanigans? Is that why you're all here? Did I tempt you with shenanigans? Anyway, so they did do it, and the thing is, they read the entrails. You're not going to waste the meat. Someone's going to eat it.
Yeah.
Whether that goes out, to the temple and the poor take it, or whether the priests eat it, you're not wasting the prime cuts. You're just not.
No.
Very traditionally in sacrificial rituals in Rome, the entrails go to the gods after they've been read to see whether the gods accept the offering, and the meat is shared out amongst the attendees. Think Catholic Mass and Eucharist, but you get a bit more than a gammy bit of bread and a sip of wine.
Well, I used to I used to leave when I was a practicing pagan. I used to leave out offerings occasionally to like the Norse gods or whatever. Wouldn't necessarily be meat or something, but you'd leave them out a little bit of wine or something, or
a little bit of wine, a little bit of milk sometimes, depending on the god. Grain, rice, and the birds are eating it.
I do seem to remember putting out an offer of mead to help Southampton win a football match once. That didn't do any fucking good.
Wrong drink.
What, for Odin?
Maybe not enough of it.
Probably, yeah. Quite possibly. And So yeah, it's
Mm.
and I should have put an offering out today because Southampton are now they're currently getting thumped 4-1. Oh dear, this isn't going well.
The god of tits and wine is a little short dude.
Yeah.
You may know him as Tyrion Lannister. He's also, I'd say Dionysus is probably the closest to the god of tits and wine. Definitely the god of wine.
Certainly wine. Certainly wine, and yeah, it's
tits, maybe Venus.
Yeah, Venus, Aphrodite,
Maybe.
I suppose. Yeah.
Venus, Aphrodite.
Okay, so move on out. So you look at this. He's living quite. He's out there in a camp here. He's doing all right for himself here. I mean, this is like do you think Soothsayers like preach like a form of prosperity gospel or something? It looks like it.
Bring things to us, and the gods will see you right.
Yeah, it kind of it is like this, isn't it? A bit. I mean, he is. I mean, he is. I mean, in a way, he's doing the same shtick that evangelical preachers.
Yeah,
do,
the practice was always, if the god doesn't accept the sacrifice or the entrails are bad, to just sacrifice another one.
Yeah,
and keep doing it till you got it right, basically.
And he's doing the sort of same thing of
I will say something. Microraptors just asked a question in the chat. Dionysus was the Greek god of wine. In Rome, he was Pan, or is it the other way around? No, Pan's the Latin one. He was known as Pan, which is where we get the word panic. The question wasn't he in love with a man. When we're talking about ancient Greek and Roman myths, that's kind of a given. It's pretty damn rare for a male character not to have at least one male. I'm not going to call it a love interest, but at least one male sex interest. Or a very, very close friend who is sometimes translated as a cousin.
Yeah.
Troy 2004 glaring at you.
Yes. Yes, exactly. That was my. That's the first thing I thought was the Iliad there. And they didn't.
They've been brothers. They've been cousins. They've been brother-in-laws. They've been best mates. All because for 2,000 years, crusty old academics just couldn't get their head around two blokes who like to have a bit of downtime on the edge of a battlefield. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
The ancient world didn't do sexuality. You were what you were,
Yeah. You have to have he's asked a couple of questions about something about the Sahara Desert. I mean, I've got to say, Greek and Roman mythology is way more Hissy's department than it is mine.
I've got to say that's not one I've come across, Microraptor. It may very well be true. I don't claim to be the be all and end all of Greek mythology. The Sahara being created by one man showing another that he was in love with him. It's possible, I suppose. It's no more of a wacky story than anything else in Greek and Roman myth, and I've never heard of it, so I'm not gonna flog a dead horse. But if it's true, cool. If not, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so you notice that all these people, Asterix and Obelix, noticing all these people going out into the forest or whatever, taking stuff. So what's going on here? And you say, well, and Oliver writes, it's the close season for Menhirs, and Dogmatics is pining for some trees. So they're they're going out there.
That's a great excuse.
Yep. That says if people are going to take their fishes and chickens for a walk, I'm taking my dogs.
Fair.
So going around looking for boars. What's this? Big yelp. And that's why Dogmatics is panicking.
Because the dog reader. Oh, no.
Yeah. You know, Asterix told you not to stay here. Come down. I pulled her tree up. This. I see a blonde girl, very pretty young blonde girl who loves great warriors with red pigtails. Pigtails? And Obelix has fallen for it, you see. He's told Obelix what he wants to hear.
In your future, I see a tall, dark, handsome stranger.
Yeah.
It's that, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so.
Has anyone in the room lost someone recently?
Do you know what I know? So the last time I actually went to a blooming fortune teller when I still believed in this crap, it told me that I had a very, very strong relationship with, which had a good root and it was going to last long. Do you know I broke up with her 2 weeks later? So
brilliant.
Okay, you're full of shit.
See, I read tarot cards for fun, but I do it because you learn about yourself by how you interpret it.
Yeah,
so I use them to cold read myself.
Well, my ex reads runes. I mean, okay, she's somewhat of a believer in this, but they're all very cryptic in how you interpret things. And I mean, runes even more so than tarot cards because there seems to be so many different possibilities because it's the way they fall and everything.
Well, the thing is with tarot cards, they can be right way up, they can be inverted.
Yeah.
But within each way of defining it, there are two opposing ways of defining it. So basically, it means whatever the hell you want it to mean.
Yeah. Very
within
much so.
a set subject and how you lay the cards out. It's cold. It's like horoscopes. It's just cold reading. You know, if you tell 1 million people that you're going to have a good day today and something good's going to happen to you, odds on at least one of them's going to have that happen, right? They can't all have garbage days.
Yeah.
I mean, recently your odds aren't good, but odds on someone's going to have one good thing happen to them.
This is one of the problem. I actually once got dragged along to a spiritualist church, right? And a guy there did the worst cold reading act ever on me, and I clocked what he was doing immediately. He got one thing right about me, and the first thing he said that I sensed you had something to do with motorcycles. Okay, he actually said.
Were you wearing a biker jacket?
Well, I got to explain it. I had not just my long hair, a full on beard at the time as well, wearing a leather jacket, blue denim jeans. I looked like you're blooming, denim
so you were dressed to ride
waistcoat over the. So I look like, I'm not. I look like your stereotype fucking biker.
You were dressed to ride.
Yeah.
If you'd have walked out and climbed on the back of a bike and picked up a helmet, I wouldn't have been surprised in those clothes.
Yeah. And it's like, so he got that right, and then.
Hey, Jeff, I know, so I can cold read you. You like an American sport. That's the equivalent of what he did. He looked at what you were wearing and went, "Oh, what does that look like?"
Yeah. I actually given the way that the football is going, is actually thinking that I should have been wearing an American sports jersey instead of my Saints shirt today. But hey ho. Anyway, we better get back to this. I think, or we ain't going to get through it. So Asterix decides he's going to wander out into the forest to see what's going on, and he finds the camp, but no Soothsayer. He's gone. Anyone at home? Impedimenta coming out there with a piping hot board that's just been roasted. Where is he? And she's like, "Oh no, you frightened him away. The chief told you not to come into the forest. This is the misfortune the Soothsayer foretold on us." And like, what? She's just running back, and the Asterix has driven away the Soothsayer. He must be mad. He said the Soothsayer was told of great misfortune if he was driven away.
Why do I know where this is going?
Yeah.
Like, even before I read it, I looked at it, I was like, Yes, because when you drive someone away, you irritate them. And that's not a good thing to do when you have enemies living on your doorstep.
Yep. You have done a very foolish thing, Asterix. The Soothsayer warned us. And so, only once foresight is one of the great attributes of a chieftain. And,
So Microraptors just asked the cold reading. What is it? There's two kinds of cold reading. There's cold reading a crowd and cold reading an individual. Cold reading a crowd is exactly what you said, Microraptor. It's make a vague enough statement in a big enough room and someone's going to say, that's me.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who knows someone called John in the room? That's it. And then you move into your individual. So you're John. Is he blonde hair?
It's basically
all you do is reading facial expressions.
Basically, it's fishing is what it is. You're just fishing for things. And some people are really good at it. I mean, some people are good at it to the point you'll think, how on earth did they know that? And it's like they didn't know it, but
they didn't know it. You told them. You just didn't realize you told them. If you're interested in cold reading, Microraptor, cannot recommend highly enough. There was a TV show called The Mentalist. Just watch an episode of that. Any episode will do. Watch the whole thing if you like.
Is that a Darren Brown thing or not?
No, it was an American TV show starring who's the blonde-haired fella? Patrick. The character's name was Patrick Jane, and he was a mentalist, and he started out as a spiritual healer, contacting the dead as a con man, and then went off and worked with the FBI as a profiler. Because apparently the FBI use a lot of profilers on TV.
Asterix here, he actually said, if I'd known he was in the forest, I probably would have driven him off, but I actually didn't. And I haven't the faintest idea what's going on, which is true. He didn't. The explanation can be found in this very moment at the fortified Roman camp of Compendium. And the Romans have arrested him. Proceeding patrol for one at which you gave the orders. We found this individual in a clearing. After a caution, he made a statement that we were not very satisfied with. Are you one of those crazy ghouls who hold out against them? Oh, me? No. I don't hold out against. I'm just a soothsayer. You're really a ghoulish soothsayer, of course. I foresee that you will be promoted. You're out of luck, soothsayer. We got orders from Rome to arrest ghoulish soothsayers. Our own augurs have warned Caesar that ghoulish soothsayers are a threat to security. I love it. It's the whole you want to know it's almost like you want to know what's wrong with the First Baptist Church, go and ask the Second Baptist Church thing. The Roman soothsayers don't like the competition of sex effectively. So they got in Caesar's ears. So you'll be shipped off to like he said, oh no, I was only joking. I'm not a real soothsayer. I'm a fake. He's like, I take advantages of people's credulity to live without working. But you just foretold that I would be promoted all the same. Well, of course, don't be absurd. I was just what I was saying. And he gets yelled at. When I want your opinion, I'll ask for it, idiot. This individual is. So he's yelling at his sergeant or whatever it is there. I'm going to try and see if you're a real soothsayer. Pick a number between 1 and 12. 7. So here go the dice. Rolls a 7.
But look, did he roll a 7 or did he roll? That's a very. Does anyone play craps?
Yeah.
Like
you can. It is the most common. It is the easiest combination to hit, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the most likely combination to hit 7 because of the way the numbers add up.
Yeah. So you win.
He's just playing the odds. It's a gambler.
So it says you win. Chain him up. I knew he was a real soothsayer when he said I'd get a promotion. No, he said that if I were a real soothsayer, I would have said that I'd known the dice would make a 7, so I would have said, so I would have said 8, and then you would have put. So he's just trying to. So he's saying I would have lied if I'd known, And he said, Centurion, I don't understand a word he just said. Do we lock him up? He's like, I'm an imposter. I flattered the people of that village to make them believe me. They're so simple-minded; they'll believe anything I tell them. And this skit piques the Romans' interest. You'll believe anything they'll tell them. You frighten them, then persuade them to leave the village. Sure as V and 7. Yeah. Very well. If you succeed in driving them away, I'll set you free. Not to the mines. Off you go. Don't try and run away. He's a fraud then, is he? That bloke who's arguing with you. He said, no. He's a real soothsayer, but he's going to work for us. So the Centurion believes that he's a... And now they're still arguing in the village here. They're all having a go at Asterix. And Asterix is trying to tell that imposter took your gold, lived off your food and drink, and now he's simply gone off to look for some more stupid people. I like this. Well, Obelix, I don't think he was an imposter. I don't like his choice of reading matter, but what he said was right. Oh, he's not you.
Ugh. He's back.
Yeah, and look who's back. I am back, and I tell you that misfortune is upon you, ghouls. Your village has been cursed by the gods. Very air you breathe from the depths of hell, it will be poisoned, so your faces will turn into a ghastly hue. Flee, rash people. It is your only chance of survival. Don't say I didn't warn you. So they're all scared to death now. Asterix is like, are you mad? He says, you're never going to leave the village on account of that fraud, are you? And they're convinced he's not a fraud. I'm living proof of it. I'm getting younger and stronger by the day. Geriatrics is telling. But he said, look, we can fight against the Romans, but not the gods. So, and so they're figuring out where they're going to go. When the anger of the gods is appeased, we can maybe come back to the village. Asterix is like, I'm staying. Everyone to the beach. Well, Asterix. And the good thing is here, Dogmatics jumps to... Obelix is going to go. Yeah, Dogmatics is like, jumps to Asterix. He's not... So Dogmatics is smarter than most of them as well. And Obelix says, very well, I'll stay. He's not going to abandon Dogmatics. So they're launching his boats. They're going to go over to these islands over there and exile themselves. And Obelix says, do you really think the Soothsayer is having us on? He says, I'm sure of it. I don't know what he told you, but the best thing to do would be laugh it off. Don't much feel like laughing. Let's go and hide in the forest, see what happens next. So meanwhile, back at the Roman camp, sort something out a sec. Back in the Roman camp, tells them, look, they're gone. I told you they'd go. So you promised me liberty. Liberty. I'm not a soothsayer. I'm a con man. That's all. It's just like, he's actually for once telling the truth.
Yeah, the problem is when you lie so much, eventually people stop being able to tell the difference.
yes, the boy who cried wolf syndrome there a little bit, I think. But sort of that. Okay. Right. Let's go check on the village. And so he's taking the Romans off there. And so I got the idea of going on about the foul air because you see, I live near a tannery in Leticia. So it wasn't a genuine prediction. So he's like, I can't make genuine predictions. If I could, I would have foreseen how this was going to turn out, and I'd have stayed home and next to that door of that tannery. So this is the problem. The Roman believes him, and the village is empty. So we need a scout to go on ahead. I want a volunteer, sir. You can take us there with Soothsayer with you. I love the way he goes. I knew it. I know. No, I didn't know it. I didn't know it. Do we lock him up then? Do we lock? So there you go. Asterix and Obelix hiding in the forest. They're looking on what's going on. The Romans going. They're only so now they know what's going on. He's working for the Romans. All clear. So they go in, and they've occupied they're going to occupy the village. Empty, deserted, uninhabited. Just as you might say, oh, Centurion. As I said, you're going to start for Rome. Take a message to Caesar. Tell him that all of Gaul is occupied. When he asks all, you will reply all. He will understand. You'll be sure to get that promotion, sir. He says, same thing as that Soothsayer was saying. I said, well, I never said anything such thing. Oh, why not? Have the gods shown you something nasty in my future then? Oh,
you can't win.
He can't win right now. I didn't tell you about it. Answer me, or have you opened up so you can read your own entrails.
I predict that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
There.
No, you'll get a promotion, all right. You'll get a promotion. Do we can't leave them in our village, Asterix. Let's get them. And he howls that no. We're going to teach them all lessons. The Romans, the Soothsayer, and even our own people. Don't worry, Obelix. There'll be another banquet in our village. You mark my words. And then suddenly, hello, boys, hunting boars. Look who's back. Asterix has returned. Look at that, boys. I won the Golden Cauldron for the Druid of the Year at the annual conference. I'm sure he did win that last year, actually, as well. But
I mean, he does go through quite a lot of Golden Cauldrons with the amount of potion he makes.
Yeah, he seems to. Very much seems to. So, very satisfying conference. Druid Statistics has been figuring out some future trends in our progression, in our profession. And so, something wrong, boy. Brought a few little ingredients to help me here. Splendid. The wind's about to change. Not a moment to lose. So he's told basically what I just say soon afterwards. So he's told Asterix what's going on here with the Soothsayer. A Soothsayer might always come in useful, the Romans thinking. What I always say, orders is orders, sir, and this one is one of them Soothsayers. He should be locked up. He's trying to he's trying to listen. I warned you about the foul air in the village. Now you can smell. So Asterix is brewing up this little ingredient. Can you have a taste? No, you can't. Get around the windward side. Obelix, don't. So they play. So here comes foul air. Windward into the village. Funny kind of smell. I was like, he is a soothsayer. I was centurion. The air isn't fit to breathe. So I take my word for it, I'm a veteran. I've known plenty of camps and barracks, but I've never smelled anything like this before. I'm sure digging latrines would have been one of their duties as well. So
yeah, or digging holes for latrines at least.
Yeah, it's not.
I think that's something they still train them to do in some modern militaries, isn't it?
Yeah, I have no idea. So he signals the retreat to leave the village and go back to the camp. And turns out it looks like Cacophonix is still there as well. Actually, didn't notice he was there. Must have left it. Must have not cared for singing on the island. But he's still like, the prophecy has come true. He really is a soothsayer. What did I tell you? You know, I forgot. I forgot it. So he forgot his lyre. That says. So I went back to the village to get it and found myself breathing foul air from the depths of hell. And even the Romans had to run for it.
Yeah, he said that you went to get coal fire, and coal mines are notoriously messy and dirty.
Yes. And I'll just have to. He didn't get his light, so he'll just have to sing without it. And the abandoned ship, dive. They're all. They all start fully automatics. Sometimes he's going to swim for sure. He's going to take his chances with the angry gods, I think.
I mean, to be fair, the angry gods are always a little bit more forgiving than you expect them to be anyway.
Yeah.
Because they don't actually care about human lives. They're just basically watching TV.
Yeah. Well, get a fix. All we have to do is wait for it to disperse, and then we go look for our friends. And as for the Romans, I'm counting on you. You're sure to think of something. This is all I've already thought of something. Go to their camp and bash the whole place up, Obelix is saying. Wherever do you get these original ideas? A handsome warrior with red pigtails, yes, but I'm not just a pretty face. That was better. In fact, I knew it was all going well. Thanks to the Soothsayer, we've got all these rebel ghouls and plots. So, do we lock him up then? No. Says, but orders this man is a fraud. There's no reason to imprison. So he's taking his excuse me, sir, liberty, sir. But I don't quite get you. I mean, of course you don't. And that's what makes me a certain, and you're just not. So he's an adjutant. As an adjutant, is effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's essentially a young officer.
Yeah.
Second lieutenant, something like that.
Yeah. So, but he takes our Prolix, the Soothsayer, into our tent. Well, you've proved it now. You're really a Soothsayer. The gods are angry with those who doubted you and cursed the village. Well, I must confess that I ought to have you arrested, but you might come in useful to me in my future career. With all the help of predictions, I could go far. I might even rise to the position of Caesar. You will not find me ungrateful, but remember, if you're not a real soothsayer and you've been having me on, I will never forgive you. He's bitten off way more than he can chew now. It's I just can't make my head into it. Have I turned into a real? So he's starting to wonder himself. Anyway, I do wish they'd give up all the grabbing. I love this. Say a number from 1 to 12. 8. It lands on 7 again. So, you know.
It is. It's just odds, isn't it? That's all it is.
we don't want. So he said, we don't want anyone to know you're a real Soothsayer, but but you were just a little too clever there. Even that fool might suspect something. I feel a bit weak.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
It's one of those, isn't it?
Mm.
Where people are beginning to wake up to this guy.
Yeah.
And it's happening slowly, but it's beginning to show the cracks before he's even arrived, which is always a good thing. Because if you want to get people out of indoctrination, you educate them young and educate them early. So it sticks.
So if Ring says if I were a real Soothsayer, I would have gotten it wrong on purpose. Yeah. Which is what he's kind of said he's done, you know, or so they go outside and Asterix is back. Maybe you could appease the anger of the gods, which is what he said. Nonsense. You're victims of your own credulity. That's all. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Asterix. I've seen the village. I breathed the foul air straight from the depths of hell. And it's like, and you know what your bard has to say to you. Calm down. So calm. I'll give you a little demonstration of the anger of the gods. Obelix, empty the cauldron. So there you go. Winds. Oh, very good of you. The winds are blow this way. The wind's blowing. So a little bit of this stuff he made up. They're all yuck. You know, they're all that's made them ill. And there's your anger of the gods. A concoction in a cauldron. Yeah, I love one of them said the smell doesn't seem to bother you all that much. Well, what with his fish? Look at unhygienic.
Fair.
I expect you know what to do now. I think so, Asterix. Go back to the village tonight in peace and quiet. Later that night, oh look, we got some pirates here. Yeah, okay. I see where we got to skip one here. I'm going to skip a bit of a page here, but they end up back in the village.
And everyone's dressing up in odd costumes.
Indeed. So they come up with the idea. It's like, we're going to suppose we give the Soothsayer a surprise. Asterix, I'm very proud of you. If we give the Soothsayer a surprise, that will prove he's not a Soothsayer.
Yeah, that's one way of doing it. Of course, you usually get from them, oh, it's also hit and miss.
I'm off to make a magic potion. It's a magic potion. We're all agreed the Soothsayer doesn't guess what's in store for him. Will you all believe he isn't a real Soothsayer? Okay.
He's making what happens to him. And that's a very interesting method.
He says, and I love the way he says, including us girls, and forget if especially you girls. So they're all a bit. So the women are getting some magic potion for this as well. They don't normally get to punch the Romans lights out.
Well, I mean, I'm not arguing.
They're getting the and does it really work? So she hits unhygienics. I look at this. I'm not in favour of all this women's lib. So they're off to the fortified Roman camp of Compendium. And let's see if the gods are protecting Prolix the Soothsayer or not. Oh, Gaul Centurion wants you in his tent. Soothsayer, tell me about my future. But I've told you already, the gods will protect you. You'll get promotion. Tell tell me what life will be like when I'm Caesar.
Yeah, it's he's gonna babble excitedly about the job he wants, and he's gonna be told magically that he's gonna get it.
Very well. You all the common people will fear you. Excellent. How about Cleopatra? What do you mean, Cleopatra? You haven't heard of Cleopatra? Oh, Cleopatra. Oh, she'll forget Caesar in no time. Yeah, she'll fall madly in love with you. So great. She'll invite me on her board her barge, and there will be all the dancing girls. Give it.
That's an interesting image.
He's got.
I've got a mental image of like that woman at Crusps dancing with a dog on a barge.
He's got he's got his little fantasy there. I think of what's going to happen there.
Yeah.
And the unsuspecting Romans are living in a fool's paradise near the camp. Here goes Asterix and Obelix approach the camp. What do you mean, shush? It's a surprise. But that wasn't surprising. And here we go.
Soothsayer didn't know they were coming.
Yeah. Hey, Asterix, it wasn't he said it wasn't surprising. Do you think the Soothsayer has warned them? Don't make matters complicated. Let them in. Here come the ghouls. I loved it. Surprise! What? Oh dear.
Yeah.
The ghouls. Ghouls inside the camp, and you didn't warn me. But how was I to leave him to me?
Yeah.
Impedimenta's going to give him a good hiding here. You made it all up about that about Letizia and Pee Wee going to partnership with my brother. Boom, good shout, Mom. Like so the Roman's like, yeah, well done, and then he gets one.
Yep.
Charge. No women allowed in camp. No women allowed in camp.
I mean, if you're going to ban women, that's what's going to happen to you. Sorry.
Yeah. What, my dear madam, what do you want with me? And look, that hope you're just wonderful, having heaps of things in common. Come along, Obelix. This is no time for a Romulus and Remus act. Allusion to the famous wolf.
Yeah.
We can go home now. I think our little demonstration was a success.
Proved the Soothsayer was a liar.
Yeah. You were right, Asterix. That fraud of a Soothsayer was playing on our credulity, but it won't happen again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, statistically, if you've been scammed once, it will happen again.
You got this guy in the village here. You got this guy from Rome here on a chariot. This is the man, obviously, who's come here because he's been. Remember, they sent a messenger off to Rome, didn't they?
So, I mean, this is interesting because surely if you have a real Soothsayer with you, he knows the message being sent, what's in it, and what's going to be replied with it.
Yeah.
So it's, it is
So
what it is.
He gets told to throw these two Romans out. Meanwhile, at the camp, so you weren't to know, you're not a real Soothsayer. You've been having me on. Are we disturbing you? Who are you? Special envoy from Julius Caesar. That's who I am. I love that he's giving it the real nicely sort of. You sent a message to Rome centurion saying all Gaul's occupied. Oh, the messenger, I forgot all about. Well, Julius Caesar told me to check up on this statement of yours and go and see if you'd really conquered the rebel Gauls. And look what your conquered Gauls did to us, by Jupiter.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. It's the Soothsayer. Silence. You're demoted to the ranks.
Who wasn't promoted?
Yeah. It's you're no more you're not a centurion anymore. You're a common legionary, and even that's too good for you. Oh, so I'm gonna get a so I love this. I'm gonna get a promotion, am I? Option, arrest this imposter.
Ah.
This person is not a soothsayer. There's no reason to arrest him. Of course there is. It's a great of course he's a soothsayer, no doubt about it. Great ghoul soothsayer protects bodies, and what she points out, I do take no orders from a common legionaries. Go and sweep up the camp and on your own, and no complaints.
Yeah, this is
And
like I think Will called Will. Who's Will? I think Ring called it garden duty, I want to say. Something the military make you do, which is just busy time. It's just there to keep you occupied.
Yeah. Just work for work's sake. So they let him go. He lets him go. But he decides he's running off there. The gods know what tomorrow will bring, but I'm through with soothsaying. If I ever change my mind, may the sky fall on my head. Boom. So the God of Thunder's anger is short lived. And making sunshine down, and well, Obelix's old friend. I don't know what the soothsayer said, but I'm happy you'll be happy. You're not a soothsayer, Asterix. Oh, aren't I? I didn't tell you there's supposed to be another banquet. I did tell you there'd be another banquet in the village, and well, there is this very evening.
Yeah.
How right you are. You did foretell it. They're going to be boars, lots of Asterix. Oh, this. Of course, Asterix. I don't believe in any of that nonsense, but do you think we'll get to go to Letitia with vital statistics after all? And he's like, get a fix. They're hopeless. Absolutely hopeless.
Excuse, yeah.
But that evening, all is forgiven and forgotten under the stars. The protection of Tartarus, god of the tree, was Meta, the goddess of plenty, Cronanos, the god of nature. The Gauls united once again, and enough to enjoy the present. I actually know how to pronounce that one, Cronanos. I'm familiar with him. So, and that's the end. And
yeah. And obviously Cacophonix is daydreaming now as well. So this is one of those stories. It's very simple on the surface. Has a very clear message and doesn't deviate from it, which is nice. The meandering roads to nowhere are fun, but I like to know sort of where the beginning is, where the end is. So it's it's a good series. I think this one obviously has a lot of the art style influence on it. Some of the landscapes, again, I go on about this every week, but the landscapes are amazing. And that's kind of where I'm on the whole book. I liked it as a book. Obviously, there's the odd, trans woman cover back. There's the odd, trigger warning, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But
sorry, I told you shenanigans. But
yeah, I was going to ask you, feeling okay?
Yeah,
catching up with you a bit now, isn't it?
I think it's catching up with me now, and I do think it is it's one of those where it's a fun little story with a good lesson.
Yeah,
and it's a very clear lesson, and it's very much designed to be absolutely categorical. It's very good in that way, and I do like that. He doesn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shut up now because I can feel the hangover kicking in.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I've tried. I made it an hour.
Okay. Yeah. So, we'll probably start winding this up then. I will just quickly put in the chat though that come up in around about 45 minutes. Media musings on One Ring's channel.
So I'm gonna have a nap before that, I think. Seriously, I know I fell asleep like twice talking there. Literally,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So I need to go back and watch what I said. Hopefully, nothing too weird.
I was wondering towards the end there. I was like, that made no sense.
Yeah, that made no sense. Probably because I've got Twitter open in another tab and I'm, going backwards and forwards, and I've probably read a word that appeared in front of me. So there's that. Yeah, Barrack's party ring. Yep. And the thing is,
so by the way, this is Media Musings. This starts in just under 45 minutes.
Yeah, and Ring did foretell the ending of this book.
Yes, indeed.
He did. There will be a banquet, and cacophonics will be tied up.
I believe we should be back next week, where I believe it is Asterix in Corsica, which I'm not sure I've actually read that one. So that could be interesting.
That could be interesting.
I get the feeling. I'm guessing there might be some internal French jokes in that one that we might not get, possibly because.
Hopefully, they're well translated. They usually are.
Yeah, indeed.
Hopefully, I'll be sober for it. That could be fun. I'm sorry, I've lost the last 10 minutes. I don't know what I was saying. Literally,
I am in no position to give anyone a lecture about being not sober on a stream.
It's not even not being sober. I'll be honest, I've been awake since 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday. It's now 2:20. So I don't even think I'm drunk at this point. I think I am just physically exhausted.
Yeah.
Because I feel sober. I'm just knackered. So yeah, I did promise you shenanigans. You got shenanigans. I predicted correctly.
Ring predicts a Napoleon joke or two next week. I could possibly see that little Corsican.
Yeah.
I could very well see it. How Mr. Serious. We're actually about to wrap up in this minute, but
Hopswatch has read it.
Hops has pretty much predicted that there's. Now, I believe the week after that, when it was back on my channel, it'll be. I think it's Asterix and Caesar's Gift, which is one I really like. So,
yeah, don't worry about it, Mr. Serious. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one, again, like I said, it's a nice, simple story. Great message. This is one I would show a kid.
Yeah, this is one. This is could be a little for like a young person. This could be a good little lesson in critical thinking here and about con men.
Yeah. It really could.
And I mean, not even for kids. This is a good. This is a good lesson that a lot of adults need to learn. Unfortunately. But yeah, because
for the adults who do need to learn it, this comic's available free on Amazon Kindle Unlimited. Go read it.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm sure it's available from other places as well.
But certainly for as I said, for this is definitely one I think people in our kind of community that are either the atheist community, the skeptic community, or the debunker community. This is one you can all appreciate, I think, because of its message about woo peddlers and
I think I appreciate it more as a pagan.
Yeah.
Because, fluffy bunnies are the scourge of my existence as a polytheist. No, your ancient Greeks did not burn white sage dawn at me. Your Native Americans might, but your ancient Greeks definitely didn't, because that plant wasn't in anywhere they traded with. It's a plant native to North America. Just so I've had that's a personal one. I've had that discussion with people.
Okay,
it's a nifty one, because I think, and there's a great message in there about trying not to predict the future as well.
Yeah.
Because the way the oracles used to do it, they'd tell you there's obviously the Alexander story of you will bring down a great empire, but
Yeah.
when two great empires are going to war, you're not going to be wrong there, are you? One of them's going to go down. So
well, it's kind of very similar to the stream I was on last night. Actually, with Mr. Sirius was there, and we were looking at the so-called times the Simpsons predicted the future kind of thing. So
a roll of dice, flip a coin.
But
some things are literally just logical application of common sense. Do I know, for example, that sometime around the run-up to a major gift-giving holiday, either this year or next year, there will be a new iPhone released?
Yeah.
Do I know the sun will rise, the sun will set? Do I know the grass will grow? It's one of those things. It's, you can watch a film and apply anything to it. And the thing is, as human beings, we are primed to look for patterns where there aren't any.
Yes.
That's basically how we've survived this long, because we adapt and we spot patterns. But it's pattern recognition. It's all it is.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to bring this one to a close then.
Yes, please do, before I fall back asleep again.
Yeah, I think you probably need to get a nap in, I think, before Ring's stream.
Yes.
So
I'm not on Ring's stream this week because he's doing Ray Bradbury, I think, which is probably a good thing. I'll try and listen in if I'm awake. And we'll take it from there.
Okay. Okay. So this is Jeff. Okay, Godless Scummer going to be signing off and probably not watching football highlights actually after the score outline I saw. So I actually don't even want to know what the final result. Do I want to know what the final result was? Let's find out.
Ask a soothsayer.
5-2. Wow.
Ouch. I'm not even a football fan, but ouch.
You know that's not a good result to be on the end of. So yeah, not good. So I will sign off then. So she'll see you all next week.
And as always, take care, be good, and if you can't be good, do what I didn't do this week and be careful.
Okay. See you later. Bye.
Bye.